Do you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello there, everyone. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Wealth Management, and it's time to stop doing what you hate. Hopefully you folks are doing well and that you're having a fantastic and awesome day. I'm doing pretty good. Again, I was just kind of up early, and again, when I get things in my mind and I can't sleep, I gotta get up and get at it. And it's going to be a very interesting show today, and this show, hopefully it'll bring you some encouragement, because there's a lot of people out there going through a lot of different things, but I'll get into it in a second. But I've had a very interesting week. Interesting from the perspective of taking a look under the hood of my own life to kind of see where I've come from, and then how far I still have to go. And I've come a long, long way. And I don't pat myself on the back. I don't brag about stuff. I do my best to be as humble as I can be. But when I start to feel a sense of accomplishment, I quickly change that to an attitude of gratitude and just being very grateful for everything that I have. And I was talking to a client on the phone the other day, and she probably doesn't listen to my show because that's just like not her thing. She's really low key and just kind of minds her business and methodically goes about her life. But I'm not her only financial advisor. And she said to me, she said, "Harold, you've done such an amazing job with the money that I gave you, and the stuff I got over there with the other person, is like it doesn't even come close to what you're doing." And my response was just, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to manage what you've given me. And, and if she ever gives me all of it someday, that's fine. If she doesn't, I used to be kind of funny about that stuff, because I felt like, here I am trying to kill it for you every day. But the person over there, they're just like, they're in safe mode. They're, just, and I was just kind of aggressive about it before, but now I'm just grateful, and I'm just thankful. And I've really had to humble myself and understand that this is not about me. It's about others. And one of the things about my week was, it was also a bit of a sad week on a couple of fronts, which I won't go too far into. However, I'll tell you this. I was out and about, and I looked into the world, and I saw suffering. Everyone seems to look happy on the outside, but inside, you can tell, you can just see it in their eyes. Although they were smiling, you can just kind of see it in their eyes that they had something going on. Everybody was seeking for something, but it just seemed like they couldn't find it. And as I pondered this, it came to one simple conclusion. And I asked myself, how did I even get here? How did I get to where I am right now? Like, with what I have and what I'm doing and all the people that I'm helping, how did this happen? And the answer was quite simple. And today's going to be a foundational show. And usually in my foundational shows, I talk about the Bible, I talk about God, because that is my foundation. And if you're a Christian and a believer, hopefully that's your foundation too. But it's Psalms 34 and 4. And verse 4 said, out of the Amplified Classic Version, it says, I sought, inquired of the Lord, and required him of necessity and on authority of his word. And he heard me, and he delivered me from all my fears. And today's title is to seek or to settle. Are you going to seek, or are you going to settle? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's not settle, but seek. Let's get it. No, the choice is going to be yours, right? And I forgot this group. I think it's the Black Sheep, and they had a song, "The Choice Is Yours" or something. It said you can either get with this or you can get with that. And I'm always seeking. I'm seeking how to do better for my clients. I'm seeking how to do better for my family, how to do better for myself, the God I serve, and those that I just may happen to meet by chance or otherwise, And my mission is two-pronged. Number one, I want to help get people from the 97% to the 3%. And then number two, I want to share with them God's love and the fact that He's available for them as well. And to show them how to properly seek what's available to them. And I know this is a financial show, but I'd like to share the secret to accomplishing your wildest dreams, if I may. And I mean this in all sincerity because I know some of the folks who listen to my show may not believe in God. And I'd like to talk with you today as a friend and someone who cares about you, even though I don't know you. And one of the things that I've learned along this path of becoming successful or semi-successful or whatever people consider me, you got to be kind. And I think that's what's lacking in this world is people are not kind. They're selfish and they're mean. It's all about them and what they want and how they're going to get it. But you got to be kind. And so today's show is about the foundation of success because many people are going to achieve success and only to have success be a struggle for them. It's like struggling from success. Like, yo, dog, I got all this success, but man, it's just like, it's killing me. I'm dying from all this success. I'm struggling. I'm suffering. It's too much. And honestly, success can be a burden for a lot of people because they sought it, they found it, but I'll get into it in a second. Now, the answer is a constant seeking of God, not just until your prayers or concerns have been answered, but a constant journey of inquiring and yearning to know more so that you can build a successful life that has meaning. Okay. And a lot of times people end up doing it their own way and they get what they get and they're still not happy with it at the end of the day. And so if you've been seeking and you haven't found your answer yet, there's probably several reasons why. And I'm not going to get too far into them, but number one is motive. Why? Why do you want to be wealthy? Why do you want to have money? Why do you want to, what's the reason? What's the motive? All right. Number two, you could be seeking outside of your purpose or your gifting. Sometimes people want things that are not for them. They're not right for them. And I've learned this a long time ago that the power of suggestion, the power of what you set your eyes on. And that's very important because in the Bible, it talked about Abraham and Lot and how Lot had pitched his tent towards Sodom and Gomorrah. And next thing you know, Lot is down there in all the stuff that's going on and he's losing everything he has. He lost everything because of what he set his eyes on. So I'm very careful as to what I look at. So I'll give you an example. I would say probably within the last month, I've driven by this gated community that I don't ever want to live in. It's a super nice place. The houses over there are like $5 to $10 million. It's looks fantastic. And as I drove by there a couple of times, the third time I said, okay, look, and I said this out loud. My wife was in the car. I said, look, I'm just letting you know I'm not living here. So whatever it is that's causing me to come by this place several times, I'm telling you now, I don't want to live here. My wife's like, what are you talking about? I said, honey, you got to understand how my mind works. Whatever my mind sees, it tries to conquer, it tries to achieve, because I'm a curious person like that. Even when we lived in Hawaii, how I got to the place where I live now in Hawaii was just my eyes being set on something. When I first got to Hawaii, I said, we were out at Hanauma Bay, and I said, someday I'm going to live in Hawaii Kai. Someday it became a reality. And then I was driving by this apartment complex that's in a gated community. I said, wow, someday I might live here. That would be great. I was at somebody's house and I looked across the water and I saw this complex and I was like, wow, it'd be great to live over there. I did not know at the time what was happening in my mind. And sometimes when you're seeking things, you're seeking outside of your purpose, it doesn't fit up. It can be problematic for you. And I'll talk about that in a second. And the third reason why you're probably not getting what you desire is because you're really not serious about what you're after. And I always have to be very careful how I phrase things and how I put things. And I know this is a financial show. And I talk about these things because I want not only what's best for your finances, but I want what's best for you as a person, as a whole. And it can be tricky. Now, I believe in order to gain clarity, you're going to need to set goals and have a well-defined plan on how you're going to achieve your goals. You got to be focused on the actions and not the results. You take the proper action, you're going to get the right results. Now, this whole business of seeking can get complicated because, we're all different. There's no one way or path, but there are principles that need to be followed no matter which route we take, kind of like stop signs or traffic signs. I don't care which route you take to get to the stadium, but there's traffic lights that you need to stop at, there's stop signs that you need to stop at, there's yield signs that you need to yield to. But if you don't pay attention to where you are going and you follow the rules on that path, you're going to cause problems. And that's why I believe in God, so that he can show me the stop signs, the yield signs, the fork in the road signs. I see that through reading the Bible. And a lot of people that are Christians, they spend very little time in the Bible at all. And I think that's to your own detriment. Why? Because people don't understand what they're reading. And the reason why I think some people don't understand what they're reading is because it doesn't jive with them, and I used to be like that. But again, I was struggling and I was serious about getting my situation on track. I was serious about getting my life on track. And then once I did that, I became very serious about getting things right for other people. And this is serious for me. And we're going to get back to finances here for a moment. But I want to ask you some serious questions. And the reason why I say this is serious for me is because I believe that I have the power to get wealth. And I did a show about the power to get wealth. But not only do I have the power to get wealth for myself, but I also have the power to get wealth for others. And so let's dig into this. And there's about 9, 10 questions that I want to ask you. And sometimes I start my conversations off with people after I meet them and, they're looking at coming on board. And one of the questions I ask them is this: if I were to make you enough money that will last you and your children forever, what would that mean to you? Like, have you ever even thought about the possibility of having 10, 15, 20, 30 million dollars, 50 million, 100 million, billion dollars? Have you ever thought about that? And then I'll ask something like, how would you use that wealth? Would you do good or evil with it? Would you fund causes that promote things that are not good for society? Would you fund causes or create an organization to help solve problems that face mankind, like dietary things or hunger or whatever? Would you help family members get right? Would you start a community organization? Would you build a school or university? Would you go on mission trips? Would you start a new business that would deliver an amazing product or service? And these are just some of the questions that you have to ask yourself. If I had all the money in the world, what would that look like? Like, why do I want to be in the top 3 or even 1% when it comes to wealth or money? I know my why, but I'm not going to share it on this show because it's very personal to me and is very, very serious. And I've kind of been instructed not to say what that is. Okay. Now, I think the exercise is important because a lot of people, they seek wealth or success, but again, the motivation is all wrong. Some people, they want to become wealthy or successful, or they become wealthy or successful just due to luck, like winning the lottery, but not everybody, but some people. And when you properly seek, everything will line up. I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and we're talking about what it's like being successful at a level that's kind of like nobody's on your level, like nobody's up there with you. And it's just dope because it's like you're in the matrix and you can start to see everything. And like everything just kind of lines up. And as I was reading the Bible the other day, and I read Proverbs like every month because it's 30 chapters. So every day of the month I read a proverb, a chapter, right? And so because I want that wisdom and I want to keep adding to it. And I came across Proverbs 4, verses 10 through 12, and it says, "Hear, my son, and accept my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. I have instructed you in the way of skillful and godly wisdom. I have led you in upright paths. When you walk, your steps will not be impeded, for your path will be clear and open. And when you run, you will not stumble." I was like, yo, that's dope. I used to talk to a friend of mine about this all the time. We used to sit down and read the Bible together. We get like so hyped, like, yo, this is crazy. Like, if this is true, this is crazy. What does this mean? Can we ever get there? And I love the part when it says that when you walk, your steps will not be impeded, for your path will be clear and open. I love that. It's kind of like when you get up there at 30,000 feet and the jumbo jet or whatever, and you just look out, there's nobody. It's just the smooth air, it's clear. You just like you're chilling. You're like you're watching a movie, you're eating your popcorn, you might have a glass of champagne, like you're just chilling, and everything is just smooth. And I think sometimes there's that clear air in life where you hit that pocket of clear air and success and things just start to happen for you. It just looks like it's easy for you. And that's because you're walking in this thing. And the AI explanation says this the verse means that the way of wisdom is safe and that wisdom keeps people from stumbling. The book of Proverbs uses the metaphor of a path to refer to life and says that ungodly attitudes creates a dangerous path. And that is true. That is very true. I've found myself in situations like that where I've chosen wrong paths because I had kind of like the wrong attitude. But seeking is hard. It requires constant diligence. You got to get up early. You got to stay up late. And it comes at a cost. You may lose friends. You may lose people that are close to you. And I'm going to get into some examples here, but I need to put out the statement because we're going to talk about investments because they do carry risk of loss. And past performance is no indicator of future results. And if you're going to invest money, you got to do your due diligence. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you an example of somebody who is seeking. And this has occurred on several occasions. So if you're listening to my show and you may fall into one of these situations, this is just a typical thing that happens to me all the time because people are referred in to me, but they never come. I have clients in Hawaii and all over that constantly refer people in. It's like, did so and so call you? Like, no. I told them, I'm gonna tell them again. I said, you know what? Look, don't pressure them because I don't want them to come on board because you force them to, because that's not going to be a happy situation. It can be good sometimes and it can be bad. All right. Again, my goal is to end suffering, not to promote it. No, people don't come in. They're seeking better returns, a better way of handling and growing their wealth, but they don't make a move when they find out what it's going to cost them or what they're going to have to give up. And I had a client who he wouldn't move all of his money to me due to him having a close friend as his financial advisor. All right, this happens a lot. They spent a lot of time together, and although I did well for him in a short period of time that he gave me some money to invest, I think he had money with me less than a year and he gave up and left. I think it was because of what he was told by his friend. And I was kind of shocked because it's kind of like, you're telling me you want to accomplish all this stuff, but then when we get started, we have some success, and then you bail on me. Like, what is that? Do you really care? Are you seriously seeking what you say you're seeking, or you're just testing something out? And on the other hand, I had a client who had a brother as the financial advisor, and they came to an event of mine, and then they came to the office, and I said, "Who's your financial advisor?" And they said, "Oh, my brother." I said, "Well, did he put together a plan to get your child through college?" They said, "No." I said, "Well, you see him all the time, right? Did you ever ask him, like, hey, how am I supposed to pay for college?" And they said, "Yeah, we saw him, but it just never came up." And I said, "Well, if I was your brother and I saw my niece and nephew and getting ready for college and I'm managing your money, you best believe we're going to be talking about it. As soon as we had a kid, I'd probably be talking to you about it." But they ended up leaving the brother and started working with me because they really wanted to pay for college and retire comfortably. And now they're comfortably retired. And the student, who's now an adult, is one of my wealthiest clients under the age of 35. It is insane. And like, I love this kid like my own kid. And we talk quite a bit. We talk about things. We update constantly on things. We stay in touch and we communicate. And I said, I love that about you because you're sticking to the plan even at this age. And I met them when they were in like high school. And that's amazing to me. And then I had another client who came on board and they had to retire early due to stress at work. Like literally they were going to die because work was stressing them out so bad. And they were referred in by another client who's a coworker that I see constantly. And when they shared the story of who they started working with and how it was going, they were literally insulted by one of their family members who they hardly speak with now. And they were told, "Why are you seeing this guy? You're stupid. Why can't you figure it out on your own? Are you stupid? Why are you paying fees?" Well, their portfolio is up 100% in the last year. I've made them a lot of money for 2.2% fees. Thank you very much. And I'm grateful that they stayed on board with me and they didn't leave because they were insulted by their family member. See, when you're serious about your seek, you're going to find, but the motive has to be right. And my seek is to end suffering and to help people find and maintain success in their life. That's what this is all about. So if you're out there suffering, you're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to seek better and get better and do better, or you're going to settle for where you are and you're going to get no better. And you're going to be like that man sitting at the well in the Bible, waiting for somebody to come and to help you get in, and to waiting on somebody to come and, and do something for you. And quite frankly, I mean, I'm here. I'm available. I'm willing. I'm purposeful. I'm passionate about what it is that I do. And I'll end with this. I bought a property back in Vegas in 2023. It's a nice place. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. However, I'm always on the search for what else is out there. I'm looking at other houses in the communities and what the floor plans look like. Not that I plan on moving, but knowledge about things is important. Gaining knowledge is going to give you clues, or will give you clues that you may be able to implement on your path to success. Like, you get ideas. Like when I go out and play golf, I get ideas. When I get ideas. And seeking requires diligence. It's serious. You got to be, and you have to have courage to jump on what you find. Okay. If you consider working with me, but you don't have the courage to make the leap, let me help you with that. It'll take about 5 minutes or less. I'll hear you out for about 3 minutes, and then I'm going to ask you the $85 million question. And based on how you answer that question, it's going to tell me whether or not I can take you by the hand and we can both jump together from the 97% that you may be into the 3%, or even the 3% to the 1%. I'm not going to discriminate. If you're out there with $10 million, I mean, I don't care whether you got 10 million, 100 million, 1 million, 500,000, which is my limit. But sometimes I go below that because it depends on the situation. And if a person with less money than my minimum is suffering, but they got what it takes to jump with me, I'll grab them by the hand. But as soon as you start fighting me, I'm going to let you jump. I'm going to let you jump back to where you were, and then you're going to keep suffering back where you were, because I know that's the situation. I know what that looks like, because I've been there. I had to jump before and I got scared, and I jumped back, and then I suffered until one day I got the courage to make that final jump, and I never looked back. So I want to thank you for tuning in to today's show. You know how to get in contact with me if you need to, 808-521-4401. You can look me up on the website. Check out the 3% part of my website. Listen to those shows. And then let's just get at it. Be bold, be confident, be courageous, and let's make this work. And so until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.